In this video, we will review the airplanemanager.com flight logs area. The flight logs in Airplane Manager have a few different things to keep in mind. First of all, in the aircraft profiles, and what I'll do is I'll take you over there, because what you have to do is you have to set your flight times for let's go over here to the Lear 60. We go to flight logs, and what you have to do is set your airframe time, your landings times. You have to tell us what columns you want on your flight logs, and also you have to put in a date of when you want us to start counting from. So this date needs to be prior to your first flight log in the system. And then you need to put in your engine 1 hours and engine 1 cycles and APU hours and so on. If this date is not before your first flight log, your times are going to be off, right? Now the reason why we have the date and we have another column here for you to add is in case you ever have to hang a loaner engine on your airplane. Also, if you get engines overhauled, okay? So what you do is, if you were going to hang a loaner engine on the airplane, or you got an engine overhaul, you just come in here and put the date in there of the date before you fly out of maintenance, and you put the new engine times in. So let's say that one engine got overhauled and the other engine 2 did not get overhauled. So you'd put a date in there, the date before you leave maintenance. You'd put your engine 1 hours at 0, and your engine 2 hours would be the hours of when you arrived into maintenance, right? And you would just come here and hit save, and our system would take care of the rest. Now over in the system, you'll notice that there's a couple things that you can do, and you can go to the flight logs and view the flight logs. Notice that we have them by year and month. You can filter by which airplane, and you can also use this here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit view. Here's the flight logs. Okay. You have different pages of the flight logs. You have expenses and weight and balance. And you have a PDF, you have a print, you have an edit, and you have a lock and unlock. Only administrators can unlock things. So if you have your pilots lock it, then only administrators can unlock it. It's a good security practice to have them locked. Now if we go up to the flight logs menu, you'll notice that you can click add flight logs. This is not the preferred method to add a flight log. This is really for adding flight logs in the past. Flight logs that are not associated with a trip. Maybe you're just trying to add your flight logs from last year into our system for data keeping or reports. Okay. You have other flight time as well if the pilots need to log other flight time. Okay. Now I'm going to take you and show you how to enter your flight logs. As an admin or a scheduler, the preferred method to enter the flight log is by going to the trip. So here you will go to your trip, you'll go to the flight portion, and you'll go over to the end of the leg, and you will click export to flight log. You do one leg at a time. Now we have other methods to export your flight logs. The pilots have a smartphone login area where they can export their flight logs as they fly the trips one leg at a time. It's a very easy system, and it's the recommended way for flight logs to be created, because it's so easy for the pilots while they're sitting at the FBO or inside the airplane to just open their phone and put the flight log in. It's super easy. It's really hard to make a mistake, you know. And also on the pilot's login to Airplane Manager, the main system, the pilots can also export their flight logs in a very similar manner to here. Okay, so those are the preferred methods to exporting flight logs, and we understand that you might want to export it all at one time, but we have found that too many mistakes have taken place. So we have created this so that it's you export it one at a time, and then you're done. As we go back over to the view flight logs, you'll notice that we cap out the flight log at 14 legs. And we allow you to turn on whether you're going to use the out, off, on, and in times. We allow you to name the last column. Here we have it called test, but you could name it to something else. It's a MISC column. You have notes down here. You have a updated signature of who last updated this. And we keep a history inside of your system of everybody who deletes anything in your system. So keep that in mind. That's the flight logs. They're fairly simple as long as you get your flight time started in the aircraft profile correctly. So keep that in mind. If you ever find that your flight times are out of order or you're having some problems, give us a call. We normally can tell you right away what you've done wrong or where you went off track. Keep in mind that if you're going to split trips, if you got one flight that is going to fly leg one and then drop off somebody and then go fly another trip, in order to make the flight times calculate correctly, you can't put a leg from Monday and Friday on the same trip sheet, on the same flight log, and then have a trip on Wednesday and Thursday after it and expect the flight times to magically, work so that they're correct, So what you're going to have to do is split the trip up into part A and part B. So you just edit the trip number, edit the flight log, edit this trip number, and call it 569-A. And then have the second leg as 569-B. So there's just no way for a software to know any better, at least we haven't figured it out. So, that's about the only thing that we could see that you would have a problem with. Other than that, you can edit everything on the flight logs. You can delete the flight logs. You can also go over to the admin, go to reports, and you can export CSV data from your flight logs for long, like monthly and yearly per aircraft. So that pretty much sums up the flight logs. Once again, if you have questions, always give us a call at airplanemanager.com. Thank you.